and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we are making it's a candy stripe like bracelet, but it's a little bit different. It's got these little diamonds running down the middle. This is a very easy pattern to do. If you are a beginner, absolutely do this one. Your friends will be amazed at how cool it looks, and it won't have been that hard. You'll definitely get the hang of this. The only tricky part to it is when you make the loop, you have to shift in this case there's 6 colors, so 3 of the colors have to shift to the left and 3 have to shift to the right. In this case, it was the 3 light colors went to the left and the 3 dark colors went to the right, and that's what made my phone is suddenly trying to give me messages. Sorry about that. It makes it so that way there's 2 on of each of the colors on the same side. So that's kind of necessary to get it started. But once you have that sorted out, then it's really super easy. As we bring a row down, it goes over the last diamond, right, and stops right there, and then you make the diamond by going to the left, right? So you're bringing down the strings to the right, going over the last diamond you made, and then you make a new diamond, which will now be in the center, and then you just continue the row. So it's real basic. If you watch how I'm doing it, that's about as much of a segmenting as you're gonna get. It's just building the rows one after another, because there's no real chance to build up a large area at any given point. This is kind of what it is. So yeah, but I have to say, I really do like how this turns out. This is a fun one. I've done this once before. I'm not sure if we did this back with the no pattern, no problems. But I'm pretty sure this has got done at some point, and we're revisiting this because one, I haven't done an easy pattern in a really long time, and it's kind of therapeutic for me to give them a try. And two, these colors that I'm using here I needed a strand of each color to go into a swatch box for future ordering purposes. And I'm like, well, while I've cut the string for it to put those in the box, maybe I could make something interesting, a nice fade. Personally, I think the fade is pretty good, although the very lightest color is a little bit more peach than a pink that I would have preferred. 5 out of 6 colors, absolutely on point. But the lightest one, I'm not sure I'm really convinced that was the best choice. But it was with the colors that I had, so I had to go with what I had. I do like how the darkest color goes over the third darkest, and then the lightest color goes over the fourth. Right, so the way that it kind of splits up the little diamonds and where they land, definitely very interesting to me. I because it offers this like contrast without being the absolute polar opposite, which I don't think you could really do with this kind of setup. It's just 6 colors. But yeah, this pattern here, again, being as easy as it is, you could scale this up. Where I only use 6 colors, you could do this obviously with 8 or 10, 12 even. Each one of those would be obviously a much bigger bracelet to have, but it is potentially really feasible, and you probably wouldn't need much to get it started as far as like doing a pattern goes. You just have to make sure that you got the colors in the right sequence. So to do that, I would say you would start with the lightest color on the left hand side and progressively go down on the left to, a little darker, a little darker, a little darker still, for how many ever, whatever, and then on the right starts the very next one after whatever you have on the left, and then that continues down to the very darkest is at the end on the right hand side. If you do that, like I said, you could make this any size you wanted to. It's really up to you. But yeah, it's easy and it's relatively fast. I did the whole thing in like an hour, and yeah, I kind of felt really good about that. I mean, I know that the size, basically that's what is normal, but it feels good after doing some like really complicated things and making bags and making all this big stuff. It's nice every once in a while to go back and do something that's easy, that doesn't take a whole lot of thought, and that you can just kind of casually make. So even if you're, you know, an expert bracelet maker, yeah, it is nice to go back to something easy once in a while. So yeah, there you go. If you're new to making bracelets and you find this to be difficult and you feel offended because I think it's easy, just understand I've got, oh man, I haven't done the math in a long time. I've got a lot of years of making bracelets. So just understand, like, when I think it's easy, it's just because I have a lot of experience. I started making bracelets back in 1987, and yeah, I mean, there might have been breaks in between. I wasn't making nearly as much as I make now, but yeah, kind of on and off for ever since then. So yeah, and yeah, bracelets are therapeutic. They are definitely a form of meditation. If you have that kind of focus or whatever when you're making these things, it's just really relaxing. You get into a nice little rhythm, and yeah, I mean, I take bracelet making stuff with me when I go on vacation in case there's layover at the airport, or in case there's, you know, downtime, or the view from a bus just sort of I can, or anxiety starts to set in, I can sit and I can make a bracelet, and yeah, it really works out for me. Good reason to always have a clip. I use these binder clips, and I have a leather board, or I have a wooden cutting board. The wooden cutting board has an advantage because it's got a ruler that's kind of glued onto the side of it, as well as I kind of drilled out a little hole and put a super strong magnet in there, so my needle for taking out any mistakes can stick right to the magnet, which works out pretty handy. Yeah, it's the needle is tethered to the clip, so if it fell off, I won't lose it, but keeping it out of the way and stuff is really nice, and so like the little magnet really works out. So that if you're looking for the ultimate travel thing, yeah, this cutting board really works out, and it's the right kind of length too. Like, I can set it on my lap, and the part where like it hangs from the wall, or it's supposed to hang from the wall, I can sandwich that between my thighs and have it sitting up at an angle and make bracelets on the fly. Really, really super cool. If you're interested, let me know. Maybe I can make a video about it and show you guys how I modded out this cutting board. I mind you too, I also kind of rounded all the corners and stuff. I wanted to make it as like friendly to my craft as possible. So there's bunches of little tiny mods here and there that I did to make that awesome. But you don't have to go that fancy. If you have like a clipboard will work, but mind you, most clipboards, the clip won't hold the bracelets very well. You still want a binder clip. So the clipboards I've been using are the ones where the clip is on the side. If it's like a sheet of paper wise, right? Like where it's really long, having the clip on the side, which allows you to like hold a piece of paper. If you have a pattern that you've printed out or something, you can stick that to the side. It works out really, really well. Heck, once upon a time I used a checkerboard, because you ever see the ones comes in the box, right? It folds, right? So it's like a thin, heavier than a cardboard, but it folds. So you can put the clip onto there and use it. It's the right kind of size. And then if you have like friends or whatever, you can still play checkers with them and, you know, take a break from tying knots and actually use it for something else. That's a cool alternative as well. So yeah, lots of little tips for beginners out there who are wanting to try something new and different, you know. And yeah, being able to travel with your bracelets is definitely a cool way to go, because a lot of people who don't make bracelets will see you working on it, ask you questions, and that can easily turn into you selling a bracelet. And selling a bracelet means you get more money to buy more string to sell more bracelets. Yeah, kind of an endless loop there, but I think it works out really cool. And I think it's a neat way to make friends and basically be happy while you're traveling. So yeah, heck, I made bracelets on the way from Detroit to Singapore, and yeah, it was she was my girlfriend at the time, my wife now. When I first like met her, I gave her a bracelet, and it was made on the flight. So yeah, kind of neat stuff, you know. And yeah, people on the flight were definitely like, what are you making? Oh, that's really neat. And yeah, it was pretty cool. Like I said, it's a very portable craft. It's a very therapeutic craft. And I'm here to try to inspire you guys into making all kinds of cool stuff. And yeah, it doesn't have to be super difficult. In fact, this one here is proof of that. This one's easy and it looks amazing. And yeah, this one actually, you could double this pattern, you know, and it would still look really, really cool. Getting the diamonds in the right spot, of course, would obviously be a thing. I don't think it'd be that hard to kind of figure out like where the change-ups are. But yeah, since it doubles well, that means it could also, you could do 6 or 8 loops coming around and turn it into a very interesting looking bag. And that repetitiveness that it has, I think, would definitely lend itself to being a very interesting looking bag. So if you need a pattern for that, you need a little help get going, let me know. We can work something out over on Discord, or if it turns out like to be something a few people are interested in, maybe I'll make a video to show you guys how to do that. But yeah, I don't usually make a lot of stuff unless there's like some interest, or unless it's something like I'm going to be making myself. I don't necessarily have the string I'd have to like order it to be able to make a bag if this is the direction we're going to go. But I just had a recent order go into floss, and typically speaking, in order to make it more worth it, I have to put in a pretty big order. So doing a bag out of this would probably take a little time before we could get around to actually doing that. But that doesn't mean I couldn't make out a pattern for you guys and kind of explain how it works. So again, if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. And yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else I kind of gained while working on this. Not really. Oh, because it's 6 colors, you get 3 colors on either side at the end, which is awesome. It makes the braids turn out really kind of cool. Yeah, you can kind of see that in the reveal part, how that turned out. But then, yeah, I don't know. We're approaching the end now. Again, I like the bracelet a lot. It's not the most intricate, it's not anything crazy, but it is a very, very pretty design, and it's fun to make. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. That would be fantastic. It would help the whole YouTube to think my videos are awesome and shows it to more people, and that would be great. So yeah, this is kind of going into the last row. Big reveal, show you front and back, and yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.